first of the agenda, remind by the Chair of the Council's expectation of the audio-visual recording of this meeting. The Parish Council meeting may be audio recorded under the openness of local government regulations 2014. Devices are to be placed on the table provided throughout the meeting. Okay, item 2, apologies. To receive apologies for absence given in advance of the meeting. Declarations of interest and dispensations. To receive any declarations of interest not already declared under the Council Code of Conduct for a member registered disclosable given interest and items that we get already received. Okay, we'll skip those. Right, item 4. To note the minutes of the Village Communities Committee meeting held on the 22nd of January. Has anybody got anything to say about any points to make or nothing to read? No? Okay, so they're noted. Okay, item 5. Excuse me. To receive information on the following ongoing matters arising. This is the clerk's update, so I'll hand over to
Thank you. I've got a few for you today. First one is just to note that the defibrillars were reinstalled at Carbridge following the insurance claim that happened on that one. The next one is an update on the Hardacre grass area. So we have been supported by a district council on this one with our communication from Wakefield Council because we were struggling with no update. So really it's been brought back onto the agenda, Chair, to let you know that even with the district council support we're not getting any information or update from Wakefield Council as to that area that we identified that could do with a bit of tidy up. So it's next steps really. If you want us to continue chasing Wakefield or you want to have a look at other options.
Well, hasn't got somebody been out from Wakefield Council to look at it?
They initially gave us some advice about consultation of the area and options, but it's gone quiet since then, which is where we got the district council involved.
We've gone and said do people want to send another email about it. From my notice is more and more cars parking there, and just vans and cars and all sorts of things. It's become a bit of a hazard on that corner, so we either, we need to make a decision one way or another, so we'll send another email.
Yeah, keep chasing.
Should be more.
No problem.
Was that this area around here?
There.
That
direction. We know what you meant. It started out, and it was grass and...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The next one, it's an item that's been on for a while. It's the advertising board on Wakefield Road. So originally we thought it might be Lafarge that owned that, but we found out that it's actually on private land. So we've requested owner information. We found out that the owner is the farm that's on, I think it's called Lane's Farm.
Oh, yeah.
So we've contacted them to ask for communication to start flowing backwards and forwards, but we've not had any update from them or anything like that. We went on their website and did the contact us form because that was the only way we could find to contact them about that. So we'll keep going with that, but we've not really got very far. But Lafarge do not own that land. It's private land from Lane's Farm, is what we're aware.
Right. So they'll probably get a little bit of money for having that sign up on their land.
That's where the biomass is, isn't it? That Lane's Farm is.
Yeah.
So they were quite keen on communicating with us at one point, weren't they?
They were.
To get us on board. So do we not have any records of contacts? I'm sure we were speaking with them at one point.
Not that I'm aware of. If you can think of anything that I can search.
Yeah. I'm sure we've had, because we were going to have a trip round at one point to get, to go and have a look, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
So, I mean, that maybe we could go in with saying, can we come and have a look and learn all about this green energy? And while we're here, can you take that board down? So, I think, I don't know if he's just letting it out to the people, because it's a big, national franchise would be.
So when we did speak to Ackworth Council, they said that it's not in use, it's almost just, they've inherited it, it's just there. So I don't know whether it's just something that they've not.
It's just overgrown.
Yeah, I think it's just
I
become.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's necessarily an income stream for them, but I am assuming because it's not. There's no current advertising on there.
Yeah.
It looks rotten, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
You're
is.
right, yeah. I just think we ought to push it that they do
Yeah.
something with it, or if we just contact them directly and say, it's concerned about its safety and all the rest of it, because it could be.
Yeah, that's fine. I can keep chasing that one. So the next one, this is an old agenda item from before I was clerk at the council. For those of you that might remember it, it was about the meeting with the crime prevention officer. And when I joined the council, we did start to look at some dates, but we never ended up committing to a date with them. And they've said that if it's still live and required, they need to have some dates that we send to them to meet them, and then they'll come out and meet up with us. It was mainly around Low Ackworth, the original agenda item. I don't know if that recalls any detail for anybody. But I could do with either us nominating 2 people to meet up, or have a selection of dates available. If we could send them through in the next few days, availability of anyone from this committee that I can send through to the crime prevention officer to meet up.
We did meet with them. Was it me and you, Sarah?
At the cemetery, didn't
No,
we?
we're in Low Ackworth. It was to do with putting the bookstore.
I don't think it was
so
me,
we
it
had
was
convention.
someone.
Maybe it's Tony.
Maybe,
So we met with crime prevention, went in and had a discussion, but I'm happy to do it again.
Yeah, so we could circulate some dates.
Yeah.
Do you want to refer this to the full council meeting, then there might be other councillors who want to be involved.
Might be interested, yeah.
Might be interested in this, so shall we do that?
Is that so? Bring that to full council.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
volunteers, so everyone can have a go.
Everyone
Yeah.
can volunteer.
Is that all in favour, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, just going down the route, these are old agenda items that we're just trying to catch back up on to update the committee. Ackworth Wall, so I've included an email in this one from recent communication. It's an impact 5.5. So I sent out the letters to the Board of Trustees, the Chair of the Board of Trustees and the current headmaster.
It's from 4 to 6, I must have just like this file. It's 4 and 6. I'm just going 4 to 6. Have you got it?
Oh, I'm really sorry. It's my copy that I was going to read to you. It's literally one sentence. That's why I've not included it. I was trying to save paper on your notes. This is from the headmaster. It just says, "Thank you for your letter. We will erect terrace fencing ASAP. It will be ordered today." So this was dated the 26th of February. And then he's put, "Could we meet to discuss finding a long-term solution to the wall?" So I understand that they own the wall, but it is the first communication I've had after chasing for months and months and months. So I've brought it to committee to see what they may recommend if we do want to meet with them.
Well,
Or I go back and say, it's your wall.
It'd be interesting to find out what their thinking is, because they need to fix the wall, don't they, basically, is the situation.
well, I think as parish council we've got a responsibility to look into it. And I think since we've opened with communication, we've got communication with them. I mean, we could meet with them, and I'll meet with them if you want.
I'm happy to meet with them, and you just like to recommend as a committee. It was just to get that authorisation on the next step for that.
Yeah. I mean, they might have some proposals to put there. I mean, to me, it's quite simple. They either rebuild another wall or put substantial fencing up or something like that.
Permanent fix.
But I think since we've opened communication, we've got a link with them now.
Yeah.
And it'd be daft to sort of walk away from it and just say, well, it's your wall, you say. They might just say, well, we'll just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they want to organise a time, I can certainly come and,
So I'll continue communication with them
yeah, please.
as per that email that I read out.
Is that okay? Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
I think the pity of it is, if it were to be fencing, is that that part of the village is quite old,
Mhm.
and that wall was sort of bit of heritage really.
Yeah.
And it would be a shame not to see it replaced as it was.
Yeah. I agree. I think so. It needs to be. See what they're doing there. Obviously, there's financial reasons why they've not done it. So but we can if we can get some communication with them, ask them why they've not done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, it was just success for me that after 9 months it was communication. It was joyous that day. Yeah. So that is that one. And then the last one for me, Chair, is it was following on from an agenda item that we previously discussed. So the council received the independent inspection report on one of the areas that wasn't noted down within the report, but I think it was Councillor Susie Sherritt that mentioned it, and I went and looked into it, was around the youth shelter. So as you'll remember from the report, that the youth shelter wasn't flagged as being a concern or anything like that. It was flagged as passable, acceptable. So following that meeting, I contacted the people responsible for completing the independent inspection on our behalf, and they spoke through with me what the requirements are as to how they test the equipment in the playground areas, and in particular this youth shelter. They have said that they're more than happy to follow up in writing, so I can do that obviously off the back of this meeting. But what they have simply said to me is that in terms of the youth shelter, the overall condition of it is good in terms of there's no corrosion, there's no rot, there's no damage that would see that it's collapsible from that sort of wear and tear. And the other test that they go through is, yes, they've said, there may be some movement in it, there may be the odd bolts missing here and there, but ultimately you are unable to pick that youth shelter up, or a number of people would be unable to pick that youth shelter up and move it. So in terms of the testing that's been completed and the assessment, the company have got 40 years worth of experience, and they've explained to me how it was tested. So it's not corrosive, it's not rotten, it can't collapse, and it can't be picked up and moved. So that therefore that's why it is the condition that they deemed it to be in the report.
Well, it's our duty to regularly inspect it, and if that's what we pay them to do, and that's what their report that's our duty to do that, so we've done that. I mean, if he wants to, or she wants to put that in writing, that they're willing to sort of write down on that specific in about the bolts, and I think that would be useful to have it on file. Martin?
Could we have that communicated out? Because again, there has been a lot of social media on that specific item, and I think it would be useful to have that information, because that is an independent auditor. It's not linked to the parish council. We've just assigned them to do a certain job. That's the job they've done. They've got 40 years experience. I think that information needs to be got out there in terms of how they deemed it, in the report essentially. And obviously we can only make our decisions based on these. That's the whole point of having these inspections done and so on. So
can I pass some photos around that were taken today that show the loose bolts? Some children, younger children that were on it said that
thank you.
2 or 3 of the older ones can get on it at a time and rock backwards and forwards on it.
I presume the work caretaking stuff has been out, sorry.
It's on a regular schedule. And the caretaking team, they do a report and they tick each check, but anything then that needs reporting, it comes through to the office. So that's the sheets that they do, it's a tick sheet, and anything else will be reported into the office.
Okay.
It has had some panels removed from it over the years, which might have given it more rigidity.
It has,
possibly has now.
Just a little bit of information on them, because some of those panels were removed because of the antisocial behaviour, because it was deemed as enclosing them in. So that I do know some of the panels have been removed to avoid that sort of situation.
Yeah.
So it's a balance of that. I do know that in previous meetings that's.
I think as an amenity, it's worth. I mean, we originally it was saying that we needed a youth shelter somewhere for the kids to sit, and if that's what we still feel, as long as it's not costing us a lot of money to keep that, as long as the village wants something like that, then we have to do the best to keep it going. So we'll, keep having it inspected, keep paying for the inspections. If it needs repairing, we'll look into that. So it is a village community we have to look at.
I understand Ray Massey has looked at it and he's made a health and safety complaint to WNPC because he didn't feel it was structurally safe either.
Right. So he's done that directly with
WNPC, yeah.
Right.
I was just going to add, Chair, that anything that the Parish Council, to my knowledge, when asking the staff team, anything that the Parish Council have done in terms of maintenance-wise to this, and the reason why it's on our inspection report, is my understanding is that Wakefield Council had pretty much washed their hands of it in the past and it wasn't being cared by for anybody. So my understanding is that this Parish Council in the past have taken action, such as removing the panels, such as spending money on it in terms of the condition of it, to keep it safe for the village and as an amenity for the village. And as you'll see, we've had a long-going conversation with Wakefield Council about overall who is responsible for it, which is why there's an agenda item on here about actually adopting it. So I just wanted to point out that yes, the Parish Council have been part of upkeep of that in the past, but with goodwill and intention is to keep it as a village amenity, because Wakefield Council haven't been maintaining it.
I mean, there's issues about things that Wakefield Council are supposed to be responsible for and they don't do anything about them. So I think we've had to step in the past, like you say, and I think that's a responsible thing to do, because if we want to keep it as an amenity for the village, we have to actually get sleep roll.
If we know it's not safe, then we need to take action.
Okay. Item 6, can I take item 6 and item 14 together, because they're both linked really? Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Item 6 is about nature's and needs, and item 14 is about wildfire or plantings. Deal with that in one.
Is that everyone in favour, just so I can record it, that we can take them together? Is everyone
All in
agrees?
favour doing that?
All in favour?
Yeah. So again, the nature, have you got information on that? You've got the,
I'm hoping I did put that in the pack. Yes, I did. It's number 6 because the
Oh,
email is
yeah,
very
sorry,
large.
sorry,
Yeah.
There they are. Martin?
So I've seen the communication that is part of our packs, and with what, and thank you, John, for bringing 6 and 14 and taking them together, because we're all about essentially wildflower planting and nature isn't neat, so it's all kind of like linked together. So that's thank you for taking that request on board. I do, in the past, as a parish council, we have had designated areas of wildflower planting where we've, I forget the name of the company, is it DK Landscapes? Is it?
S&D.
S&D
Landscapes.
DK, I think so. And they prepared the land and then we planted the wildflower, and that was really successful. We then trialled to see what happened if we left it, that wasn't so successful. So I think we do need to have some parish council sites where we prepare a little piece of land and put the wildflowers, and we plant the bulbs like we've done in previous years, and I've got some proposed sites for that, and then some larger areas for Wakefield Council and part of the nature is the sort of thing. So that's what I'd like to put to the committee. In the past we've done the Low Ackworth Triangle and the Ginnell to Langdale Drive. Outside the cemetery, the village green. The additional 2 spots I'd like this committee to consider would be the roundabout at Hillside Roads. There's like a green roundabout, and it's sort of like opposite the doctor's.
Oh, you mean the big grass vergy thing?
I think that would be good to
Opposite
have.
Car Bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a big area, actually.
Yeah.
And just, I thought something like outside All Saints Church as well, just near like where the bus stop is also, because there's some grass areas there, so they'd be like the parish council sort of sites where we do some preparation and that sort of thing. The Wakefield Council sites where they're looking at like a meadow option, and that links in with the email that we've had. Dando Way, as is included in the email. Doncaster Roads, opposite the cemetery along like the roadside, because there's not like a public footpath. I thought that was quite nice coming into the village. And also maybe outside the Doncaster Road estate as well, because there's like grass verge area there. I think there's some green areas where Mount Pleasant is, and Carbridge, Castleside Hill and Rig Lane as well, I think would be good, because they're all quite, they've got long verges next to main roads. I don't think they'll interfere too much with people, so they're just my suggestions anyway.
Did you mention the Low Ackworth where it feeds into
I did, I put that, the Low Ackworth triangle.
Triangle, yeah.
I mentioned that with the Giddle of Landale Drive as
That's right.
a parish council.
Yeah.
Do we own all those bits of land, or are some of them Wakefield net?
Some of them will be Wakefield, but
Yeah.
And do we? And
But we have
I'm
plans.
confident they won't mow them down again.
well, that was the issue at Carbridge, wasn't it, when we did, they didn't mow them down there, so if Wakefield Council do
And
their
the one-
meadow scheme there, they should know about it.
And the one in Low Ackworth as well got mowed, didn't it? The Ginnell, one down Ginnell, I think.
Oh, okay.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if that's their initiative, this Nature's and Nathan's their initiative, so if they'll have